A bad attitude is like a flat tire. If you don't change it, you will never get anywhere. Welcome to Mindset Monday at Talk Therapy Center. I want to talk today about attitude. Let's check in. Attitude, check 1 2 1 2. Can you hear that? I just tapped the mic. How is your attitude? I love this description of attitude. I'm going to read it here. It says, attitude, your attitude, is a composite of your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions. So your attitude isn't just one thing. It doesn't just come out of thin air or depending on who acts a certain way or what situation you're in. Your attitude is based upon the composite of your thoughts, your feelings, and then your actions. That creates your attitude and someone else's attitude. It's easy to see other people's attitude, and it doesn't always have to be bad. We use the word attitude like, wow, they have an attitude. Well, we all have attitudes. But usually when we're using those phrases, wow, she has a real attitude. Attitude, oh, she's real tooty today. Or he's real moody and tooty today. He's got a bad attitude. We use attitude as a negative thing, but always remember, people can have really, really good attitudes. I'm sure you can name a list of people in your life that have bad attitudes, people that you've known. But how many people can you list in your life that have good attitudes, positive attitudes? You like to be around them. See, our attitudes are the atmosphere, the energy that surrounds us, the vibration we give off, so to speak. It says, so your attitude is a composite of your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions. And your thoughts, feelings, and actions are an energy that you send out to the world around you. And whatever you send out is what is going to come back to you. So when we're stinking thinking, when we're just in a bad mood and a bad attitude, everything seems to stink. But if you ever kind of stop to think, is it everything that stinks or is it your own attitude? Are we just smelling our own fumes, so to speak? How is your attitude? Do you have a good attitude about life, about your day? It's Monday. What is your attitude like about Mondays? Is it good? Is it bad? Depending on your attitude, your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions will really determine how you experience that day. For example, say you and your family are going to go on a trip. What's your attitude like about it? Is it good going in or is it a bad attitude going in? It's probably what you'll experience. We are in control of our attitudes, and we like to be around people with good attitudes. They're can-do types of, positive people. We say, wow, I just like the way it feels to be around him. I just love the way it feels to be around her. She has a positive attitude. We can always change our attitude. Another metaphor I love to use is think of yourself as a ship. Okay. We're all given vessels. They're all different. They're not created equal. Some people have rafts. Some people have yachts. Some people have dinghy boats. Some people have ships. We all have something we're floating on in life. Life is the ocean. We have our vessels. The weather or the situations in our life are the same for everybody. The sun is hot. It's been hot these days. But what's our attitude like? How are we going to set our sails? Right? Shading ourselves, protecting ourselves. How are we going to shift the sails to go with the wind or against the wind? Or are our sails not even up? Are we just drifting, not even paying attention to our attitude, so to speak? So in life, we always have the option to turn our sails to kind of go with life. The weather in life, we can't control the weather, but we can control our attitude, meaning how we think about it. And then that affects how we feel about it. And then, of course, our feelings produce or kind of drive our actions, our motives, so to speak. The emotion behind the motion, our motives, emotions. How is your attitude? I want you to check in with yourself today. I want you to think of how is your attitude towards the weekends? Do you have a really good attitude when it's Friday? Do you have a good attitude on the weekends? And then when you get to work on Monday, you have a bad attitude? How is your attitude, meaning your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions about work? How is your attitude about your partner? How is your attitude about your kids? How is your attitude about yourself? How's your attitude toward your body? How's your attitude towards your mental health? Your attitude towards your mental health. I want you to check in with your attitude. How do you feel? How do you think? How do you act in certain situations? If you texted, and if you want to do this, I would really encourage you, text 3 people who really know you. I want you to text 3 people who really know you, who you like, who you trust. And I want you to ask them, what kind of attitude do you have? If you were to ask them, get your phone out and text them, hey, if you could describe my attitude, what would you say it is? Or maybe you can ask them, do I have a bad attitude or a good attitude? And if they say it depends, what areas do you see I have a good attitude? Or what areas do you see I have a bad attitude? I want you to check in with your attitude. It can affect, literally, it does affect our whole lives. So for Mindset Monday today, I want you to check in with your attitude. How are you setting the sails on the sea of life, so to speak? How are you experiencing life? Is it easy for you to get a bad attitude? Or do you surround yourself with people with positive attitudes that just kind of rub off on you? Remember, attitude is the atmosphere in which we create. If you were a planet and you had atmosphere around you and people come into your atmosphere, do they like it? Is it pleasant? Is it somewhere they would like to stay and visit again? Or is it somewhere they want to get far away from? How is your attitude? I want you to look at your life and check in. And just know that perhaps it was, things might have happened. Things can get us down in life, but we can always change our attitude, our perspective, change our sails around it. I want you to challenge yourself. What areas of your life have you always kind of rolled your eyes or had a bad attitude or a stinky attitude around? And I want you to challenge yourself and see if you can shift your perspective, shift your sails, and see it in a different way. How can you change to a more positive attitude about something you don't like, something you're dreading, something you roll your eyes at? And if you want to text 3 people and ask them about your attitude. And I also want you to add in the comments below, what are your favorite quotes on attitude? What have you learned about attitude? I'm going to read some of these. I pulled up some attitude quotes and I'll leave you with this. Attitude is a little thing that makes a big difference. Winston Churchill said that. Zig Ziglar said, your attitude, not your aptitude, will determine your altitude. So there's another short version of attitude determines your altitude in life. How far you'll go is determined on the level of your attitude, a good attitude. What would your boss say? Do you have a good attitude? John C. Maxwell says, people may hear your words, but they feel your attitude. That's kind of like from that definition we read about your attitude is a composite of your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions. Your thoughts, feelings, and actions are the energy, the vibration you give off. People feel it. So I would agree with John Maxwell. People may hear your words, but they feel your attitude. I have a really funny story about this. One of my friends, we were meeting for dinner. I can just talk forever. We were meeting for dinner and she was in a rush and she walked up to order something to drink. And the bartender said, hey, how are you feeling today? And she was really kind of spent from the traffic and she blurted out, highly favored and abundantly blessed. And he couldn't really hear her, but he just saw her body language and he goes, oh, I'm really sorry. And she came back and she goes, that was odd. I told him that he asked me how I was doing. And I said, highly favored and abundantly blessed. And he said, oh, I'm sorry. She's like, what's his problem? And I said, no, I said, he didn't hear what you said. He just saw your language. He felt your attitude, your energy behind the words. And we went up to him. And I said, excuse me, sir, we're doing an experiment. And I asked him and I said, when you asked her how she was, what did you think she said? He said, I couldn't hear her, but I thought she said, oh, it's been a rough day. Isn't that wild? Wow. So people may hear your words or not hear your words, but they can definitely feel your attitude. Albert Einstein said, weakness of attitude becomes weakness of character. Brian Tracy will end with this, says, you cannot control what happens to you or the weather, but you can control your attitude toward what happens to you. And in that, you will be mastering change rather than allowing it to master you. Are you the master of your fate, the captain of your soul? I want you to check in. I hope you enjoyed that Monday mindset. Attitude check in. List any of your favorite quotes in the comments below and share them with us and let us know, how's your attitude today? I hope you enjoyed that. Have a wonderful day, and we'll see you next time.